What's going on, guys? This is Days Cookies and they're doing a video, and in this video I'll be talking about my favorite anime first episodes. So basically this video for me is just an outlet really to just try and explain why I love these first episodes so much, and I'm just gonna immediately get right into it with Ouran High School Host Club as the first mentioned, because this is literally the episode, the show. Every time I think about Ouran High School Host Club, I'm like, frick, I really love its first episode so goddamn much. But Ouran High School Host Club, bro, it was the first shoujo anime I watched, banger. And about the first episode, summarizing it a bit, Haruhi, main character, is this academic student and commoner at this very rich kid's high school. Like, the setting is just freaking ridiculous, and they're trying to find a quiet place in this library. Haruhi accidentally stumbles into the host club, and inside the host club we meet the rest of our main cast, which are 6 charming dudes, right? And Haruhi, being kind of intimidated, Haruhi accidentally backs up too far and ends up hitting a vase, and Haruhi's broke, she's commoner, and wow. And Haruhi can only pay with her body, becoming the errand boy of the Ouran High School Host Club. But yeah, later down the episode, one thing leads to another, and they're like, oh shoot, Haruhi kind of looking fine and has the looks to be a host, and so Haruhi becomes a host, and they figure out Haruhi is a goddamn sweet host. All the host club members have archetypes, so Haruhi becomes the natural. And if one thing wasn't clear already, Haruhi is a girl. Some of the host members throughout the episode figure out this fact slower than others. Why I love the first episode of Ouran High School Host Club is just how fun it is, because literally this is my first shoujo anime. Yeah, I heard Ouran was a good show, and this is a goddamn great show. It's one of my favorites of all time, and I loved rewatching it. On YouTube, there's a video of Ouran High School Host Club English voice actor dub bloopers. Bro, that shit's freaking hilarious. In the first episode of the show, they freaking used a red arrow first before freaking YouTubers began using it as clickbait, bro. They used that shit. They used that shit early in 2006 already. So now I'm gonna take you to my next one, which is also another 2006 show. A lot of you probably know it already. Code Geass. God fucking damn, Code Geass. This first episode had me jumping off my sofa and like dancing all around my like living room. I love Code Geass, and it's just hype. I need to start up with Jiboo. Whoa! Quick first episode plot summary time in a nutshell. So basically, racism. Japan is conquered by Britannia, and all the citizens of Japan are turned into a number and are deemed 11s. Our main character is Lelouch v Britannia. Lelouch v fucking Britannia, because bro is actually the GOAT. Like, he plays chess by moving his king, but it doesn't matter because he's the GOAT, and just big brain his opponent and wins. And after a long string of incidents later, Lelouch encounters a strange woman and gains the power of kings, a Geass. And with this Geass, he can impose his will and orders on anybody who makes eye contact with him. And so Lelouch orchestrates his plan to obliterate Britannia. Alright, so the next one I got for you is the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. This is my favorite anime of all time. This is what got me into anime in the first place. It starts off with a monologue from the protagonist Kyon, and little thing about Haruhi Suzumiya, it is a light novel adaptation, and kind of what sparked light novel adaptations in 06. Kyon's monologue instantly hits you with asking somebody how long they believed in Santa Claus is so stupid. And his whole monologue, which is about like 30-40 seconds, right, talks about how you felt as a kid, right? Santa Claus isn't real, and I mean, I still get to celebrate the holidays, right? But all those superheroes, aliens, time travelers, ghosts, demons and stuff are also just not real. And it's the acceptance and mindset of like, yeah, they're not real. It would have been damn cool if they were, right? And that grabbed me. It was instantly relatable. And and after Kyon's just heartfelt monologue, he gets to this classroom, he smugly sits down, he's just like, yeah, I just freaking killed it, ready to start my new life. And then immediately right behind him, Haruhi Suzumiya, the title character, this girl is just like, freaking denies everything he says. Just like, yeah, nah, I'm looking for them aliens, time travelers, espers, ghosts, demons and stuff. Like, come at me. I'm looking for the stuff. It's real. I'm gonna find it. And zero trace of irony, right? And Kyon's like, you dead ass? For real? And then their dynamic starts there. Kyon's just down to earth person. Haruhi's just this bizarre person right in the first episode. And Kyon, he's a yapper in his head and outside. And then he's just like, Haruhi, you really like these aliens and ghosts and what supernatural whatever stuff, right? How about you just make a school club and just dedicate it to doing that stuff, right? And he gets himself roped in because he just ran his mouth too much. And so the SOS Brigade is formed, and Haruhi will gather a few other members to make this club. And that's in the first episode. She gets Kyon herself and 2 other members right away. Back in the Haruhi Suzumiya, I want to tell a funny story of how I found it. I was watching Watch Mojo back then, and they were making anime videos. I clicked on like top 10 anime dances, and there was Haruhi Suzumiya, and there was Lucky Star, and I saw the Hara Haruhi Kaidi, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna watch that show. I watched Haruhi Suzumiya, and if you guys know Haruhi Suzumiya, the episode I'm talking about is the chronological order, but the whole anime has a whole broadcast order because on TV, the episodes were aired differently. Meanwhile, the chronological is obviously the events in order from earliest to latest, right? But the broadcast order jumbles it all up. So the broadcast first episode is different, but it's also very enjoyable for you guys. So if right now I'm talking about the chronological order, but for broadcast order, if you like more mystery and figure things out, feel free to watch it in broadcast order. It's absolutely great still. This episode for the broadcast order is also freaking hilarious. I obviously love the chronological first episode way more because of Kyon's monologue, but the freaking broadcast first episode is literally like a student film. And I'm like, bro, I can relate to it so much because my background is literally media broadcasting. That's literally what I did for college. So rewatching that thing now is just so meta for me. It's just hilarious, and I'm like, oh, I can relate to this a bunch. So yeah, okay, and all right, next up. This one is a bit of a cheat and a cop-out. I'm sorry guys, but it is Sword Art Online Alicization. Now this is a cheat because this is the 3rd season of Sword Art Online. So if you were to look at it chronologically, just as I was mentioning with Haruhi Suzumiya, this is not actually the first episode of the franchise here. The reason why I put this here is because this first episode of SAO of this season kind of changed, it changed SEO for me. And I have a big bias for this one because I was watching Alicization with my friend in call, and we just had a blast of Alicization. And the first episode just blew us away because this episode is 47 minutes. It's double the length of a normal episode. Now, it's pretty common these days with like Oshiroko and ReZero to have these 1-hour ones. Like, dude, the ReZero latest season has like an hour and a half, and I'm just gonna get into a bit of a summary of the episode. From the first episode of Alicization, what hooked me is right from the get-go. Fade from black, then you see scenery and shots of the world. Now, the art is beautiful here, and the music's beautiful here. The music's really peaceful, and seeing all the scenery, but right away, you feel like nostalgic. You feel like your childhood has been here. Getting onto our characters, right? So it opens up to Yuji and Kirito, and they're cutting a tree. And then afterwards, we learn that, oh, this is their task to cut down this tree, and they have a system to check the life points of it, because it is a JRPG world still. They check the life points, and it's like, wow, you have 260,000 more hits left, and you're the 9th generation of people who've tackled on this tree. And mathematically, it's gonna be like 900 more years till this tree gets cut down. They're not gonna live that long, probably. Through the eyes of Kirito and Yuji, we learn about their world. We learn that, yes, this actually is a JRPG world with JRPG systems, and it's completely normal. In a JRPG, the systems only exist for the player, right? And NPCs or your party members don't usually check it. When here, everybody could check the stats. They just do a swiping motion, they could check. And that's the cool thing. There's not some narrator narrating all this or saying all this, right? It's all shown throughout this episode about how it works. And in the second half, we go back to standard SEO, going back to the real world. And right away, after you leave the first half, you're just left lingering, missing this connection to that previous world, right? And it just gets you so attached. All right, and then once again, Lisa returning to perform a banger opening at the end of the episode. Adamus, goated. I absolutely love it. For some reason, the full version is different from the TV edit because it's missing the guitar at the beginning. And Yuji and Kirito are bros. You can tell right from the first episode, they bros, bro. And we're like, yo, I'm with my friend, I'm like, yo, we're bros too. We're bros too. And I want to tell a funny story about me of SAO. I watched the second season first before I even knew of the first season because I was watching on Crunchyroll, and it had second season listed first, and my dumbass just clicked on episode 1, and I was like, huh, GGO. I mean, I still enjoyed it, but then there were flashbacks to regular SAO, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. 2017, where I actually watched SAO from the beginning all the way to the current, which was ordinal scale at that time. Alicization was what really got me hooked. So yeah. Alright, so I might have mentioned this, but like all the shows on these lists are also like my favorite of all time. And that might be a bias to why I think their first episode is also the greatest of all time. But this idea started from Ouran High School, which I started off the video with. But on to the next one is March Comes in Like a Lion. It's about this boy named Rei Kiriyama, who is this shogi prodigy, like 16 years old. He's a high schooler. Opening scene, just visuals. They're just showing you stuff. It's a strong show of visuals with these violent winds on screen, seen by these swirls, and then the flash of the silhouette of the protagonist, Rei. You could kind of see that this is the world of Rei Kiriyama. Everything feels storming around him. It's all boiling up in the inside, and that's why we just see a silhouette. And after the flashing of Rei's silhouette and all this chaos, we hear a voice kind of berating Rei, and we get a glimpse of Rei's face out of the black of his silhouette. After our opening, we get to Rei Kiriyama waking up, introduced to his world. He lives in this apartment in this town or city, and we watch his daily life. And there's not even any dialogue or monologue from him. He doesn't do any of that. He's just silent, but the world around him is so alive, obviously. And it just feels so peaceful, because even though because he's not talking, but because the music in the background is so calming and the scenery around as he walks through this town, you're just watching back and seeing how Rei Kiriyama goes about his day to get to his work, which is shogi. Once Rei gets to the shogi hall, he plays a shogi match against his dad. And then as they're playing the game, his dad asks him questions like how he's doing, how are you living here, are your studies good, the occasional parent to child conversation. And Rei doesn't say anything to respond, and they just start the game. And as father and son are duking it out in a game of shogi, as they're playing the game, we could see memories of Rei Kiriyama's past. He's reminiscing these past memories of his family, and the woman in the beginning who's berating him was actually his sister. And as they're playing shogi, we could see Rei's really successful at shogi, but unfortunately for his siblings, they don't reach the same success that he has in the game, and so that kind of causes a drift in his family with his siblings. And after the end, his father says, hey, your siblings are missing you too. Then afterwards, we see Rei meet the Kawamotos, who are a very comfy family of 3 sisters, all trying to make a living with their grandpa as well. We kind of see Rei transform there, because for the first 7 minutes of the show, Rei isn't even talking. But once he gets to the Kawamotos, he's talking right away. It's kind of felt like the ice was broken. This is also his comfort. But at the Kawamotos, he's comfortable to relax and talk and socialize. And then we also have him at his high school, where he's a loner, but we meet Mr. Hayashida, his teacher. Okay, Mr. Hayashida is the GOAT. He's one of the best adult characters in anime, I've got to say. And right away from the first episode, you see Mr. Hayashida, you're like, he's a bro. He's a bro for life. He may be a teacher, but he's also a bro. He teaching you life lessons, and he hanging out with you. Like, it's great. It's great. It's great. For me, why I love March Comes in Like a Lion, the first episode a lot, and why I put it on this list is just because I find it beautiful. All right. And I think this one is the last entry of the video, because I've been yapping a lot. I've never done this type of video before. If you made it here, thank you. But now I want to get on to the first episode of White Album 2. Another one of my favorites of all times, but hey, these favorites of all times all have goated episodes of all times too. This is very obscure, but I believe I found White Album 2. I think I found it on like my anime list on like top 10 music anime or top 10 emotional anime. I knew this was gonna be an emotional show, but it was also on the same list. Your Lie in April was obviously on that like music anime list. And then in the description, it was just like, yeah, this one's emotional just like Your Lie in April. I think it was something along those lines. So I knew right from the first episode that by the end of this show, I would be fucked up. And it did fuck me over. Like, I was like, I just want to say about White Album 2. The first episode of White Album 2, if you love music, watch it. If you love J-pop music, watch it. it has one of my favorite J-pop songs of all time in the song White Album. Not to be confused with White Album by the Beatles. But also White Album 2, you don't need to watch White Album 1. White Album 2 is just the name of the series. And this is a second setting. The story is written by Fumiaki Maruto, who you may know for also writing How to Raise a Boring Girlfriend, which is a rom-com, and that one's also really great. But back on the White Album 2, so the first episode of White Album 2 starts off with flashback. Already, once you're in the first episode, it tells you what you're going into, what it's going to lead to. It's going to lead to something very sad. So episode 1, we had the beginning, but the most important part I want to talk to is the end, so I'm going to skip everything in the middle. I think this has got to be one of my favorite scenes in an anime, and this is what makes this episode 1 so iconic for me, is the performance at the end. Our main character is Kirahara Haruhi, who's this really bad guitarist, just like me. Hey, I played guitar in elementary and in like one class in high school, and I was bad, but I probably just need to stick to it and actually try learning more. That's also another reason why I love this first episode. Bro plays the guitar and is bad at the guitar like me. So Haruhi Kirahara is this really bad guitarist in this disbanding music club. And so Haruhi is just like, all right, I'm gonna just do one last guitar performance. And then there's also this pianist in the room next door, but we don't know how they look like. Kirahara doesn't know how they look like, so we don't know how they look like, obviously. But they play along with Kirahara all the time, we know that. So Kirahara is playing the song. This is White Album, which I love this song. Plays White Album. You hear his like dippity doink guitar. That's the sound effect I use for like messing up the guitar strings and notes. And honestly, his guitar playing doesn't even sound that bad in the anime because he's trying. So he's playing through it. And then, so yeah, he's playing White Album on the guitar. He starts it, and then the piano starts coming in. And then Kirahara, he obviously knows that the piano is gonna accompany him, and it's a very peaceful moment of just, yep, I guess it's the last day, but I'm just gonna peacefully go out playing a nice song. So Kirahara resigns himself to just playing this song for one last time in this empty classroom, which is the band club room. And so I'm just gonna keep doing this mostly because I want to pretend I'm playing guitar. So resigning myself, kind of just peacefully playing this guitar. A voice comes in, singing the vocals of the song. So Kirahara hearing this voice is just like, wait a second, who's playing this? And he kind of stops his guitar playing, figure it out. But before he does, he shouts out to the pianist next door, like, keep playing the song, keep playing, so that the vocalist keeps playing. Funnily enough, the vocalist doesn't care that the guitar stopped playing, which is funny. So Kirahara packs up his car and runs because he heard the voice from above on the school rooftop. So he runs to the top, and there it's a dramatic him running up the stairs as the song is about to conclude. And right as he opened the door, the end of the song is sung, and it's by Setsuna Ogiso, which I did skip for the middle, but Setsuna Ogiso is basically the school idol who's won the school most popular Miss Hojo. The school name is Hojo. She won the Miss Hojo award, so she's basically the idol of the school, and she has a great voice. And so that scene of Haruhi opening the door and just seeing Setsuna sing her heart out at the end as she sings the final lines of White Album is just one of my favorite scenes of all time, because that's how you get me. You have a really good song, and then you just put that in. you just put that in, and it makes the scene all the more better. Obviously, how dramatic he made it with Haruhi running up the stairs, and the dramatic time point of opening the door right as the final lines of the song are being sung is just perfect. Is so good. That J-pop song is so good. And the thing is, because the anime teased how depressing the ending of the show is gonna be, I was like, dude, I'm on Lifeline, bro. I gotta listen to White Album as much times as I can before I get to the end of the show, because by the end of the show, if I listen to White Album, I'm just gonna be sad every time I hear it. And that's literally what happened. Every time I heard a song from the show after that, I was just sad. And it took a while to recover from that to where I could just listen to it without being in pain. I mean, there's still a bit of pain listening to it, but like, I think of it like a masochist now, because that's what Maruto Fumiaki did. I'm just like, it hurts so good, bro, because I'm like, the story was so good, it hurt so much, but it was so good, even still, even if it's so emotional and it makes me sad, it like hurts me because I'm like, oh, it's still so good. So yeah, if you get into White Album 2, you're on Lifeline. Listen to the songs as much as you can before you can't listen to them without like being an excruciating emotional damage. So yeah. All right, and that concludes my video. Thank you guys for sitting with me for this. I have no idea how long this video is. If it's short, if it's long, if I super cut it. Congratulations, editor me. You figured out how to edit this video because I didn't know how to record this. I kind of had the script in front of me. You could see it. That I kind of have the script of jot notes in front of me because yep, it's this stuff's hard, bro. I don't know, talking down and just talking to my camera and sitting down was pretty hard. But yeah, thank you guys for sticking around. Hope you enjoyed the video. Stay subscribe and like the video, and tune in for more. Outro's working out. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.